So another way is to experience God for the sake of others. This one can be harder. I mean, a definition of surrender is to agree to forego yourself, especially in favor for another. Something that I personally am very passionate about on my surrender, where I have to constantly surrender, is because I love to set up a place and environment for people to be able to have the opportunity to experience God. Whether it's here at church, a conference, an event, anything that gives someone the opportunity to feel or possibly have that encounter with God is so important to me. But that doesn't make it easy, because I have to surrender my own feelings, my own need to sometimes have self-preservation. I have to surrender my need to want to just stay on the tasks, to hide from harder opportunities that God could be calling me to, because I get comfortable. It's an unpopular thought in our society, especially here in America, when we tell people to give of themselves, because we're taught that we need to do what feels good for us. We need to take care of ourselves. But when I say that and surrendering to help others, I'm not saying that you don't have boundaries. You need to learn how to surrender with boundaries, but for the sake of others. We can't turn our back on God's love for his children, for his church. So Jonah knew God, and he knew his mercy and unrelenting love, again, which is why he ran to Tarshish. He didn't want to go. He didn't feel like people of Nineveh needed that encounter with God. He didn't want them to have it. But God did. In chapter 4, God provides a plant for Jonah to provide shade. But then God sends a worm to destroy the plant. And then the conditions became unbearable for Jonah, and he just wanted to die. Jonah gets mad about the plant. He feels it's unjustified, and he's all, throwing a hissy fit, really. And God points out, you pity this plant that you had nothing to do more than you did those people. How many times do we value our things? It could be our time, more than trying to be an encounter for others. Can you surrender to God so he can use you to lead people to a life-changing experience with him? If you're unsure how or what that looks like, it's important to always understand this, if nothing else. God is always in pursuit of you. Always. He wants to pursue you, to show you how to surrender, to be with you in your surrender. God is unrelenting in his pursuit of you, and he will never give up, just like he never gave up on even Jonah when he ran. Yeah. So I have, this little book I want to read. When I heard it read, it was so impactful, but it's simple. Once there was a little bunny who wanted to run away, so he said to his mother, "I'm running away." "If you run away," said his mother, "I will run after you, for you are my little bunny." "If you run after me," said the little bunny, "I will become a fish in a trout stream, and I will swim away from you." If you become a fish in a trout stream," said his mother, "I will become a fisherman, and I will fish for you." "If you become a fisherman," said the little bunny, "I will become a rock on the mountain high above you." "If you become a rock on the mountain high above me," said his mother, "I will be the mountain climber, and I will climb to where you are." "If you become a mountain climber," said the little bunny, "I will be a crocus in a hidden garden." "If you become a crocus in a hidden garden," said his mother, "I will be a gardener, and I will find you." If you are a gardener and find me, said the little bunny, I will be a bird and fly away from you. If you become a bird and fly away from me, said his mother, I will be the tree that you come home to. If you become a tree, said the little bunny, I will become a little sailboat, and I will sail away from you. If you become a sailboat and sail away from me, said his mother, I will become the wind and blow you where I want you to go. If you become the wind and blow me, said the little bunny, I will join a circus and fly away on a flying trapeze. If you go flying on a flying trapeze, said his mother, I will be a tightrope walker, and I will walk across the air to you. If you become a tightrope walker and walk across the air, said the bunny, I will become a little boy and run into a house. If you become a little boy and run into a house, said the mother bunny, I will become your mother and catch you in my arms and hug you. Shucks, said the bunny, I might as well just stay here where I am and be your little bunny. And so he did. But that's how God feels about us. All right, you want to run? All right, where are we going to run to? You want to do this? All right, we're going to do this. How do you want to do that? All right, you don't want to do that anymore? Like, he's always there, and he's always going to be who and what you want him to be. And that can be annoying. Because you sometimes just want intervention, but God's never going to force himself until you, surrender. Once you surrender and he knows that, then you've given up that control and you allow him to then move through and do what you're ultimately asking him to do. So you have to have an encounter with God in order to understand how much he loves you. It's not about feelings, but experience. It's interesting because we hold on to negative experiences, right? It can really shape who we are and what we do. But do we let the good experiences have that same impact? And I would say no. But I would ask you to take a moment and to think about where God has done things for you. So on days when you can't remember and you're not sure, you can go back to, because it's about the experiences that make a difference. So I'll share mine. I've had lots of them, but there's this one particular time at camp where, if I was going to be honest, I wasn't in a great place. I was really struggling to even be there. It wasn't what we normally do, wasn't at the normal place that we do camp at. I was a part of the worship team then, and that kind of just took us out of doing a lot of other things. And I had this moment where I just had to surrender to God. Okay, like whatever. Camp is going to be what it is, but I want to have an experience with you. Like, I want to have an encounter with you. This is what it's supposed to be. So we were worshiping one evening, and we were only like a day or so in, so it wasn't like this whole amount of time happened. But God's presence fell on the camp. And I can't explain, and that's what an encounter is. I can't give it to you to be your encounter, but I can only know that I can go back to that moment and know that I felt, that I've heard, that God is there. So on days and moments that it seems dark and it seems like you're not sure how to surrender, or if you even want to surrender, try to find that moment. And if you haven't had that moment, this is a great place to get it. Come looking for it. If you never search for it, you'll never find it. But if you're open and willing, you'll be able to have that encounter that will change your life. And when your life is changed, guess what you get to do? You get to change other people's lives. Because you can't stay quiet, and you can't shy away from who God is and what he's done for you, because the impact that he's had on your life can be so much greater on someone else's. So we're going to close. And just when we close with this song, if you're open and you want to have that encounter, surrender yourself. Let him know so he can be with you. Because when we pursue the encounter, we actually give back to them in the greatest way we can. Because their time, their effort, their sacrifices are seen by us, the people, to then make a difference, which then feeds back to them.